Welcome to careers.com. Good to have you here. I'm glad that more and more people are joining. Let me just share my screen with you. All right, guys. So welcome to Job Easy. I hope everyone can see my screen. We are rebranded. We had before been called Job Easy. Now we are careers.com. And today we're going to talk about career and job market overview, about software quality assurance and testing. We're going to talk about the industry, about the salaries, about what we actually do at work. And of course, we're going to answer all of your questions. Just bear with us, listen carefully to the lesson, because during the lesson, we're going to answer most of your questions. In case that you will still have questions at the end, we will leave time to answer all of your questions, guys. So don't worry about it. Okay? Cool. Now, what is QA? QA stands for quality assurance. Our job is to make sure that everything looks, works, and feels good. Okay? That's what we do. And basically, I'm sure that everyone used a mobile application or a web application, like a website, or a mobile application like weather or dating, anything, maps. So someone designed those applications, someone created those applications, for example, developers, and us, QA testers or software QA engineers, we test those applications to make sure that everything looks, works, and feels good according to their requirements, according to what was expected. So we are not fixing anything, we just report issues that we see, okay? So it's much more simple than you thought. Is this course for you? First of all, you need to remember that you need to be authorized to work in the US, or you need to be like a green card holder or a citizenship, or you need to have a work authorization that allows you to work anywhere, anytime, without any limitations, okay? You need to be comfortable speaking English. It doesn't need to be perfect English, but people need to understand you, and you need to understand others. So you will need not to have any communication problems. That's what you need. You don't need to have Shakespeare English. You don't need to have perfect English. You can keep the accent, but as long as people understand you and you understand others, you're going to be fine. Also, you need to want to start a career in tech in the next 2 to 4 months. Basically, you are looking to get a job in the next 2 to 4 months, because this program going to be for 6 weeks. 4 weeks going to be the educational part, then the additional 2 weeks of the internship minimum, and then you will start your job search, which usually going to take between 1 to 3 months. So you need to be looking for a new job in the next 2 to 4 months. You also need to be ready to accept 70 to 100K job offers, because that's what we do in QA. 35 to 50 per hour, 70 to 100K. You're always going to have exceptions. Sometimes someone going to get 65K, someone going to get 110K. But the average going to be 70 to 100K. What you don't need any technical background. You don't need any computer science degree or development skills. You actually don't need even to learn coding for manual QA, because it's manual QA and you don't need any coding there. You also don't need to buy any equipment. As long as you can see us, you can watch us, you can hear us, it's good. Okay? Of course, for the internship, it's nice if you're going to have a laptop, but hopefully you have at least a computer or a laptop, because it will help you during the internship. Now, according to Glassdoor.com, the annual salary for software QA engineer in the United States is $70,000. To be honest with you, no, it's not. It's changed. It was 1 month ago. Now it's $97,000. If you go to Glassdoor.com and you're going to search for software QA engineer salaries in the United States, you will see $97,000. Now, just 1 month ago, it was showing $70,000. Okay, so it changed. We're definitely going to update the the presentation. I just want you to know that the average actually jumped. So traditionally, our graduates are getting actually more than the average. So for example, when the average was 70K, our graduates were making around 80, 85, 90K. Why? Because we made sure that you are prepared much better than the average. We don't want you to become the average. We're going to prepare you that way that you're going to impress the hiring manager and you will be able to ask for much more than the average. Our graduates making 80, 90, 100K. Yes, we have some people getting 70 and 75 as well. Now, let me just show you really quick. Let me show you the screen and let's just go to glassdoor.com. So if you look for, it was something else. It was data analyst. It's not related. Let's go to basically to glassdoor.com, software QA engineer salaries in the United States. You will see that the average is around $97,000. Now, also, you're going to notice that 80% of the jobs going to ask you for many skills like automation, like Java, Python, Selenium, WebDriver, and many others. Now, guys, you need to understand that someone who knows automation, who knows coding, who knows Java, who knows Python, he will never work for less than 105, 110K. What it means? It means that the average software QA engineer, which is making less than 110K, doesn't do any automation, doesn't do any Java, any Python. That's why those jobs eventually will get back to someone like you, manual QA testers. Now, let me just show you dice.com. If you search for software QA engineer, let's say just in Atlanta, Georgia, boom, we're going to see almost 1,000 jobs. If we go to New York, we're going to see probably even more than 1,000 jobs. In, I don't know, San Jose, California, boom, more than 1,000 jobs. In San Francisco, I'm sure you're going to see much more. If you're going to see Chicago, if you just go to the big cities, you will see a lot of QA jobs across the United States. And you know what? Now everyone is working remotely since the COVID situation. So you have much more opportunities than ever before, much more jobs that you can apply and that you can work remotely from anywhere you want. So definitely you have a lot of demand for software quality assurance. All right, so let's continue with our presentation. The benefits of QA jobs include, it's very easy to learn. You don't need to know any programming skills. It's very good compensation because you get 70 to 100K, which is basically 35 to 50 per hour. The stress levels are usually very low. According to Forbes, QA considered one of the happiest jobs in the United States because it's usually stress-free and has a great life, work-life balance. You also don't need a computer science degree because you just don't. You probably need some experience. That's why we're going to provide you an internship that you're going to join right after the course to practice what you learned and to have a real on-hand experience in your resume. It's a shortcut into the IT world because you don't need computer science degree and you can just, boom, get into Google, Apple, Facebook, Intel, any IT company. And not only IT company, basically any company that has a mobile application or a web application or website. There are opportunities for career growth. You need to remember that you have two paths that you can choose. One is to become more technical. First of all, you can always stay and make your 70 to 100K and be happy. But if you want to move forward, you have two options. One is to go to the technical side to become an automation QA engineer, to learn some coding, algorithms, and a lot of things that not going to be very simple. It's going to be sophisticated, complicated and will need more time, because manual QA can learn in 1 month. Automation, you will need to learn at least for 3 months. And it's not going to be for everyone. That's why I recommend always to focus on manual QA, get the 70 to 100K job, and then you can think about other options and moving forward. The second way you can grow is to go into leadership, to become a QA lead or QA manager. You will have much more meetings, much more headache, much more responsibilities, but also you will probably have more money. Again, you can work remotely since March 2020, which is awesome, and our graduates really enjoy that. Most of our graduates are working remote right now. As you saw before on Dice or LinkedIn Jobs or Glassdoor.com or Monster, you will see a lot of QA jobs across US. The job titles are different. For example, when I worked at Apple, my title was software QA engineer of second degree. But when I worked at Intel, my title was test engineer. So you have different names, you have different titles for same exact type of job, because I was doing exactly the same job as I was doing when I was a QA tester, QA analyst, manual tester, functional tester, UI tester, exactly the same job. Okay? Now you have different titles. It could be quality assurance engineer, software QA engineer, software test engineer, QA analyst, QA tester, manual tester, functional tester, UI tester, black box tester, test analyst, QE. Different names for same kind of job. QA is the second happiest job in the US, according to Forbes magazine. You can just Google it, Forbes happiest job QA, and witness that. Why? Because you get nice salary and usually stress-free job. Very simple to learn, that anyone can do. We at Careerist are offering you a QA course where you're going to get intensive practical training from industry experts. When I say industry experts, I actually mean that we are teachers, our instructors, are QA managers, QA leads, software QA engineers in top companies like Apple, Facebook, Intel, Google, and many others. So we bring you the best of the best to share their knowledge, their tips, their tricks to get you maximum rate in minimum time, and to save your time and effort to make sure you get what you need and you don't repeat the mistakes that we used to have when we just started. You get incentive practical training, which is going to be in Zoom, where you can ask your questions, you're going to get your answers. Of course, I recommend, first of all, focus on the lesson, listen carefully, because most of the questions are going to be answered during the lesson. After you do the 4 weeks of the educational part, you will join an internship with references, of course, that will really help your resume, because nowadays nobody really wants to hire anyone without experience. That's why we're going to make sure that after you graduate the program, you're going to join a real project and you're going to have real experience in your resume. So the companies would love to hire you, and you will be able to answer during the interviews about your company, about your project, about your team, about what you did at work, about which test cases you wrote, about what bug report you wrote, about how did you communicate with the team, and many other questions. We also going to help our graduates, especially those that sign the income share agreement, with job applications. Basically, we're going to apply for you for jobs, and you just need to answer phone calls and go to interviews. You're also going to have graduate meetings during Saturdays. Every Saturday, we have a graduate meeting where we answer your questions, we bring success stories, and also we share tips and tricks how to get this job as soon as possible with maximum rate in minimum time. You're going to have convenient online sessions and one-on-one calls with the mentors. So we are the biggest QA course in the US. We have already more than 150 employees, And we have many mentors that are going to work with you one-on-one after you graduate the program. They will make sure that you prepared well for the interview questions, that you not only know them, but you also sound okay. I'm not saying sound fantastic, I'm saying sound okay, to make sure that you're ready to go to interviews and pass those interviews. Once we know that, we help you with the resume, with the LinkedIn, and with the instructions for the job search. And of course, in case that you sign the income share agreement, we actually going to apply for you. If you just paid upfront, you can apply yourself and you will also get the job for sure. Our guarantee, you pay us nothing but a small commitment fee until you get hired. Most of the money, most of the customers going to pay just only after you got an IT job. By the way, if you're going to get a different job, which is not IT, not QA, you don't need to pay us anything. If you're going to get a job that's going to pay you less than 25 per hour, we don't want your money. We're going to teach you how to make, of course, much more. We're going to teach you how to make 35 to 50 per hour, 70 to 100K. That's why you came here, and we don't want to waste your time or our time. Let me introduce you our instructors. Yuri Sokolov, with more than 7 years of experience in quality assurance, is a QA lead at Google in Mountain View. We have Patrick Simental with many years, more than six years of experience in QA, working at Facebook, Intel. We actually used to work together at Intel, and actually now he works at Google. We have Bark Hassel with more than 8 years of experience in QA and product design. He is leading teams at Google and Apple in his experience. You have me, Max Lubachansky, with more than 7 years of experience. I'm also the co-founder at Careers.com, and I've worked at many different companies, such as Apple, Intel, and many others. You are more than welcome to add me on LinkedIn and see more about my background and my experience. We also have Natalia Atif. She's a QA manager with more than 10 years of experience in companies like Intel, Apple, and other Silicon Valley companies. We also have Alex Hvastovich with more than 7 years of experience in QA. He's a QA manager at United Power and many other Silicon Valley companies. Vitaly Rohin, QA automation engineer with more than 7 years of experience in IT at various Silicon Valley companies. We have Nika Haradze, senior QA engineer with over 6 years of experience working for various Silicon Valley companies. Feel free to add us on LinkedIn and see more about our experience. Our graduates work at some of the most innovative companies in the world, at Uber, at Apple, at Facebook, at Slack, at Amazon, Samsung, AT&T, Google, Verizon, Daily Mail, Salesforce, CBS, Boeing, Intel, Visa, Oracle, Walt Disney, Snapchat, Dell, Microsoft, Bell, and many, many, many more. We have graduates in 27 states already working and doing their dream job. I recommend you to go after the lesson, maybe tomorrow, to see our website and to see the part in the insights called Graduate Success Stories. You will be able to better understand who we are and what we do. Just go to careers.com, you will see insights, success stories, and you will see some videos of our graduates telling you exactly what they went through and how they got their dream job. As I just said, we have graduates already in 27 states. When we just started, people were saying, no, it just happens in the Silicon Valley. You can make 100K only there. But no, guys, our graduates are working already in 27 states. And you know what? Just a few months ago, we had 20. Now it's 27. I'm pretty sure that we're going to take over America and we're going to have all states, because everywhere you have companies, you have IT companies, and you need QA people. So when we talk about the salaries, it's pretty much around the big cities like New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Seattle, San Francisco, San Jose, LA, you can make up to 100K, sometimes more. between 70 to 100K. In Boston, between 70 to 90K. The rest of the US, it's 70 to 80K. San Diego, Texas, Florida, and the rest. It's going to be around 70 to 80K. In the big cities, again, Chicago, New York, New Jersey, Seattle, San Francisco, San Jose, LA, you can make to up to 100K. All right. Now, when you look on the average salary, for example, in black, you will see the average salary according to Glassdoor. It was that. Actually, now it jumped. But before, the average salary was like, I don't know, 57, 68, 67, 70. Our graduates are making much more. You can see, usually it's like more than $15,000 more. Why? Because we prepare them much better than the average, and we make sure they sound, they look, and they answer the interview questions much better than the average. But according to Glassdoor right now, the average jumped. So what we actually do at work, it's probably a question that bothers many of you because you don't really know, right? So let me show you what you are being paid 70 to 100K, 35 to 50 per hour in QA. I'm pretty sure that you will be in shock. So let's just give some examples of issues. So when we go to a website, just random e-commerce website, we're gonna see different buttons. So for example, the Shop Now button, when I click it, it doesn't take you anywhere. So that's something we call a functional issues. Whenever something is not working, doesn't function, we call it a functional issue. This is the most highest priority issues that we find when something is not working. After we test the functionality of the application, we want to test the UI, how things look or feel. So for example, this model on the right, I don't know if you noticed, but her head is kind of cut off or truncated. We call it truncated or cut off. Now, should it be like that? You know what? I don't really know. So because of that, I want to compare to the design document. Usually we get a PDF that shows us how things should look like. But in case that we don't have access to this document and we cannot compare the picture of how it's supposed to look to how it actually looks, we gonna ask the product manager for clarification. Just we're gonna tell him, hey, you see this model? Should her head be truncated or cut off, or it should not be like that? So we don't really know right now, but to me and to you, it looks weird, right? So let's just try and play with that. So just let's right click the button on your mouse and click the inspect element. Boom, we click the inspect element and we have, this panel called Chrome Dev Tools. On the left side, you can see the HTML code, and on the right side, you can see the style sheet, the CSS. Now, you don't really need to become an expert on HTML or CSS. You just need to understand that that's what it shows you. It shows you the code, the script that the web page was created. And on the right side, it shows you the design, the size, the color, the font of different elements on this page. So when I click the right click on this image, it's highlighted the area on the left. Basically, this is the area that is relevant to this picture. Another way is just to click this button on the left and just to go from element to element and to see the color, the size, the font. And once you click it, boom, it shows you the area which is highlighted in the HTML that is related to this particular item. So when I go to this highlighted place, I can see that the original picture looks different. It actually shows the whole face. It's not cut off. So it's a good indicator for us to think that potentially we actually need to have her face on the website. We're going to create a bug report, and we're going to send it to developer to double check if the design should be different. Maximum, they will close it and tell you, no, don't worry, that's how it's supposed to be. But I have a feeling that it's not. Now, by the way, this panel that you have here, you can put not only in the bottom, but also you can put it to the right. When I put it to the right, you can see that the image appeared fully, and now it looks much better. So it's just a feeling that maybe something went wrong over here. Okay, so this is a UI issue. UI stands for user interface, or GUI, graphic user interface. And that's kind of issue that we find whenever something is cut off or truncated. Another example going to be something being overlapped. So when we scroll down and we see this model on the right, once we hover the mouse over the model, we're going to see that he's going to move and hide or overlap the N letter in the word fashion. Look, 1, 2, boom. Yay. You see he moved and it overlaps the fashion N. This is example of an item, an image that is being basically overlapping another item or another, something. It could be a button, it could be a text, it could be anything. Okay, so this is overlapping. So we have truncated, cut off, we have overlapping, and also we have something we called misaligned. So for example, when I go to this website and I just look on the fields, you see this field is not aligned to this field. I was expecting it to be on the same line. It's not. It's misaligned. This is misaligned to this, and misaligned to this, and misaligned to this. Okay, now this is misaligned to this, and this is misaligned to this. So this we call misalignment. You see those check boxes on the left? They are misaligned. I would assume that they should appear on the same exact line. These kind of issues we report and we call misalignment. Now let's get back to our website. Another issue that we report, it's inconsistency. So for example, when we come to the ladies and we bring the mouse over this image, the background changes to blue, right? It remains the same picture, the same image, but it gives you a blue background. Same goes for here. Now, once we go to the third lady in the red, you will notice that something gonna change. Boom, you see the image changed. The image is not the same. It's inconsistent behavior, and we definitely want to report that. Regarding overlapping, I'm sure that you saw before a text that is overlapped by a text like here or here. Another example of an issue that we might see, if we go to a website and it brings us page not found, 404, I'm sure that you saw that before. This is a functional issue. The page is not found. You see, this is aligned to this, but this is not aligned to this. Another example of misalignment. Let's go to that website. So when we go to this website and we go to the main page, we're going to notice that once we scroll down and we come to the footer, we call this is footer, and this we call header. So once we scroll down to the footer and we bring the mouse over the button, or so you see these buttons with text, you bring the mouse and the background, the color of the text changes to a really weird, I'm sorry, let me just show you one more time. When you scroll down and you bring the mouse, you see, oh no, my eyes, I cannot read it. It's very hard. It's not pleasant. And we definitely want to report this kind of stuff. If we go to the setting, you see this hamburger button on the right, and we bring the mouse over the text, the buttons, it also appears blue on a blue background. Not really pleasant to read. Maybe it's expected. We definitely want to double check that. When we scroll down the languages, once we click the languages, it doesn't change to that language. This is a functional issue because I would expect to have basically different languages that can change. Like here, you see, I changed, for example, to Russian, boom, it becomes Russian. When I clicked the languages before, it didn't change to any language. You remember that we scrolled this website before, but look what happened when I changed to Russian. You see this? It went out of the field because on Russian, this word is too long. This is example of localization testing where we test different languages and we see that something, basically behaves different from what we expect. All right, so let's get back to English and let me show you example of a bug report. So I was working in 2013 for a company called DAP Digital, and we were testing Toyota Scion website. I was the only, basically one of the two QA people that were testing the website for Toyota Scion. And usually I had a design document that told me exactly how things should look. And I had another document, like a business requirement document, a PDF, that showed me exactly how things should work and basically what should appear after what and where each link going to take the user. Very straightforward. So let's just practice. Let's make an example. Let's assume that the design document shows us a 2019 models, 2019 Yaris, 2019 FRS 86, and 2019 Corolla hatchback. But when we come to the website of Toyota, Scion Toyota, we will notice that it shows 2019 here, 2019 here, and here it shows 2020. So this is a bug. It's just for practice, right? Let's imagine that it's supposed to show you only 2019 models. What we do in this case, we go, basically this year, 2020, should show 2019. What we do is we go to the most popular bug tracking system in the world. Most companies going to use that, and we're going to definitely give you access to that and give you experience working with Jira. All you need to know right now is just one single button called Create. Once you're going to click this button, it will show you a bug report that you need to fill. Let's start with the most important fields. Project name, let's call it a demo. Issue type. As a QA testers, as a QA engineers, we mostly write bug reports. So we choose bug report. The summary is basically a title which should show you what and where happened. So for example, in our case, it's a homepage of Toyota Scion. 2020 Corolla hatchback model should be 2019. In the description, we're going to put the steps to reproduce with actual and expected behavior. For example, steps 1, you go to the website. Step 2, observe 2020 Corolla hatchback. Actual 2020 Corolla, expected 2019 Corolla. Very simple, very straightforward. You don't need to have PhD in English literature to write it. Next, you have the priority. It really depends on the company and on the situation, where is the problem happens and what is the problem. But in this particular case, when we have basically, a mistake in the year of the model, it could potentially affect the company. And this is the most popular car in the United States. Corolla, one of the most popular cars, so it might affect millions of people. That's why the priority in this case is going to be high or highest, depends on the company. Let's say that it will be a high priority because we care about our customers and we want to make sure that we provide them the right information. Labels, it's not mandatory. It's something that you can write or you cannot. But if you are told by your manager to put, let's say, label for each report, each issue that is related to Toyota Scion, you just write Scion, for example, and they tell you to put Scion for any Scion kind of issue. You just gonna put this label to make it organized. So next time the manager can click Scion and see all the tickets, all the basically problems relevant to Toyota Scion. Environment, I'm gonna tell you where and what, basically where the issue was reproducible. If it was on MacBook, it, for example, it's gonna be MacBook Pro, High Sierra, Mac OS version 10, something, Chrome version, blah, blah, blah. Or if it's Windows, it's gonna be the name of your device, the name of the platform, name of the browser, and in case it's a mobile application, it would be, for example, Samsung Galaxy S20, Android, blah, 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 and the name of your build and the number of your build if it's a mobile application. If it's a web mobile application, it will be just the browser. Same goes for iOS, pretty much. Okay? Attachments is the place where we add screenshots or video recordings, sometimes even more. For example, log files that we're going to discuss during the lessons. So the purpose of it is to make life easier for the for the developer. So if we go to Toyota Scion, we're going to create a screenshot. For example, we take Command Shift 4 on our MacBook and we just choose the area that we want to screenshot. Boom! It downloads the file to your desktop. You can always also use Command Shift 3, which is going to take the entire screen. On MacBook, if you're using Windows machines, you can go to Start menu, search for snipping tool, and it's pretty much the same. If you don't know it, it's okay. You can learn it in 5 minutes. Don't worry. It's very easy and simple to create screenshots. Once we created the screenshots, we basically go to Jira, click Browse for attachments, and we choose the picture that was, screenshotted. We can upload the file, or if it appears in recent uploads, you just use this image. You click Insert, it will add the image, and that's it. Project name, issue type, which is bug report, title, which should be short and informative and should show everyone what and where is the problem, description with steps to reproduce actual and expected behavior, priority, environment, labels if you really want, attachments with screenshot or video recording or whatever you need to add, and the create button. Once you click it, boom, it just created our first bug report. Congratulations, guys. Was it complicated? I don't think so. It was very simple. It was very, very straightforward. That's what we do at work, guys. Welcome to my world. That's what we do, and that's what we are being paid 70 to 100K, even more in many cases. We don't write bug reports all day long. In most cases, we write between 4 to 7 bug reports per day. In many cases, we just execute what we are being told. For example, test cases that tell us exactly where to go, what to do, and we just mark pass or failed. If it's pass, you move forward. If it's failed, you write a bug report. That's our job, to execute test cases, to write bug reports, and after you write the bug reports and you assign them to developers fix the problem, send back to you, and you verify that this issue was fixed on the new version. Pretty much, that's your job. In some cases, in some companies, they ask you also to write the test cases, but probably it happens in maybe 30 or 40% of the companies. In most companies, someone already created those test cases a long time ago, and you just need to execute those. Our program is going to be for 4 weeks. It's going to be online program that you can watch in Zoom. If you cannot watch during our time, you can always watch the video recording anytime that works best for you. It could be weekend, morning, evening, lunchtime, whatever works best for you. you can watch the video recording of the lesson. After the 4 weeks of the program, you will join the internship and you will practice what you learned. Of course, you need to attend the course, you need to be prepared for the interview questions. And once you do, we're going to help you with the internship and with the resume and with the LinkedIn. The lesson is going to be Sunday to Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Actually, I'm sorry, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope I am right? So basically, maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
No, you're right, Max. It's 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time,
yeah.
And East Coast, 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. East Coast time. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thank you, Yuri. We're actually gonna update for some reason, as there is a bug report here. It's an issue, guys. It's supposed to be PST, not EST. Someone will change it really soon. Anyway, this is an example of issues that we find at work. Okay, when something is inconsistent and weird and strange and doesn't look good. So it's 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, West Coast, which is 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, New York or Miami. We're also going to offer job application services that we call JAS. It's going to be free for those that are going to join our income share agreement. Those that choose the upfront payment, they can actually purchase the service for only $499 per month. But if you choose the income share agreement, the ISA, it's part of your program. So job application service is a free part of our program and it's available for eligible graduates. Do the homework, pass the quizzes, complete the internship and the final interview to be eligible for job application services. Because before you start your job search, we want to make sure that you can pass the interview. If you cannot pass the interview, it's okay. We're going to help you and we're going to guide you and we're going to support you to improve and be ready. Your future depends on you and your ambitions. So just follow the instructions and you will see the results. I can promise you that. All the eligible students get access to the internship and our job application services. How it works. You complete the course, pass the internship and the final interview. You fill out our questionnaire and have one-on-one discussion with your mentor. We help you build your resume, your CV, and apply for available jobs. And boom, you get 70 to 100K, $35, $50 per hour. Don't worry, in case that we don't apply for you, you can always apply yourself. We're going to teach you and guide you how to do that. It's very simple, very straightforward. And all of our graduates before, they were applying by themselves and they got jobs already in 27 states. You pay us after you are hired. The first lesson is completely free, which is today. And after that, you basically gonna have a few different options. Let me tell you exactly about the options. The upfront gonna be $3,799. You pay just the upfront, and after that, you don't need to pay anything else. That's it. We, of course, going to support you. We're going to teach you everything you need, and you will be able to get a job in 1 to 3 months. Applying for jobs, we're going to show you where, how, and we will make sure that you sound good and you have a nice resume, a nice LinkedIn, a nice, understanding of the QA world and how to answer interview questions. So this is the most simple part. Just choose the upfront, and that's it. $3,799. In case that you cannot allow yourself to pay upfront right now for different reasons, you have the option to pay the registration fee, which is only $799, after which you don't pay anything else. That's only what you pay. And after that, you don't pay anything else until you get the job in IT. Once you get the job in IT, you pay us 15% out of your salary before taxes every month at the end of the month for the first 24 months. It's definitely going to be more than the upfront. That's why the upfront is probably going to be the most, recommended option. But in case that you cannot afford it, you definitely can just pay the 799, sign the income share agreement with us, and then just to pay 50% out of your salary in IT once you get the job for the first 24 months. Once you lose the job or stop the job or pause the job, you stop paying us until you get your next job, and then you will just basically pay the remaining amount of the months. In case that you would like to join our automation program after manual, you need to search for the job for at least 3 to 4 months. But after 4 months, if you want, you can join our advanced program to learn automation. In this case, your contract will be not 24 months, but it will add another 3 months if you join the automation. Of course, not now when you join it, let's say in a few months from now, once you join it, you will add additional 3 months to your contract. So instead of 24, it's going to be 27. In case that you want to get both manual QA and automation and you don't want to pay percentage out of your salary, you can choose the upfront payment of $7,999, after which you don't need to pay anything else. Okay, guys? Cool. All right. Now, okay, very simple. You have the upfront or you have the income share agreement, and that's it. Now, basically, what I'm trying to show you guys is that you can join us starting tomorrow. Basically, starting tomorrow, we're going to have lesson number 2. And in order to join it, you need to choose the option that works best for you. I will share the links with you really soon, and you can just choose whatever you prefer. Is it upfront or is it income share agreement? And you can read the contract and choose the option that works best for you. The income share agreement and registration fee or the upfront going to be due by tomorrow at noon Pacific time. So you have time to decide and join us. This is the email if you're going to have any questions that we didn't answer today. By the way, at the end, I will try to answer all of your questions, of course. But in case you're still going to have questions, or if you're going to have something personal, you can email advisors@careers.com, and our advisor is going to get back to you and help you choose the option that works best for you. This link gonna allow you to choose also the upfront or the income share agreement. At the end, I will also send you the link for a survey. Please spend 1 minute at the end of the lesson to leave your feedback for today's lesson, because we really care about your feedback and we always try to become better and to improve. So guys, long story short, we're going to teach you everything you need, and we will focus you on the things that you need in order to get this job. We created this course not in order to become another course. We created this course because we wanted to create the dream school that we ourselves once wanted to find. A place where we're going to support you, a place that's going to focus you on the things that you need, a place that's going to teach you how to avoid the mistakes that we used to have in the beginning of our career, a place that's going to share our knowledge with you, our tips, our tricks to get maximum rate in minimum time with minimum effort, because we don't want to waste your time. We don't want to waste our time. And we are much more interested of you getting a job than you do. And we don't care if you paid upfront or you sign the income share agreement. We're going to treat everyone exactly the same way. And we're not going to discriminate at all. The only difference is that those that sign the income share agreement will get the job application services where we apply for jobs for you, and those that pay the upfront, they will need to apply by themselves, or they can purchase this job application service for only $499 per month. Okay, that's the only difference. Besides that, no differences. What's the difference between us and other courses? First of all, that we are much more interested than anyone else for you to get a job. Besides that, we focused on the things that you really need, and we don't want to waste your time. Other courses are going to teach you 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. We don't want to waste your time. We know exactly what you need in manual QA. The actual job in manual QA, it's pretty much what we showed you today. It's pretty much that. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. You don't even need to learn 1 month to do this job. You can learn it in a couple of days. But to do the job, everyone can. You don't really need to learn for that. But what you need is to get the job, is to keep the job, and get maximum rate, minimum time without wasting your time on $20 per hour, 25 per hour, junior level position, 28 per hour. No, we're going to teach you how to get 35 to 50 per hour, 70 to 100K after a few months from now. Okay, you just need to follow instructions. We always have people that follow instructions and those that don't follow instructions. Those that follow instructions, 95% going to get the job. 5% they're going to have problem with maybe with the visa, maybe with the English, maybe with confidence, maybe with communication skills. But if you just follow the instructions, you will see the results. I can promise you that. Now, I see that you already have some questions. Let me try and start answering those. And of course, at the end, I will answer the rest of the questions. Okay? So I hope those that wrote that they cannot hear me, they can hear me now. And I hope so. Hi, Max. How are we going to be able to get 70K if all jobs require experience and some require bachelor degree? I don't believe couple of weeks of internship will make the trick. Can you please clarify that? Of course, Gustavo. So, I would not tell you that you can get a job if I knew 100% that you can get this job in the next few months. That's our business. That's what we are doing for the past 2 years, and we are very successful doing that. We have graduates working already in 27 states in more than 200 companies. And I promise you that 99.99% of our graduates, they don't know any coding and they don't have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of experience. They just, exactly like you, without any background, that came here and we taught them how to answer interview questions, how to be confident, how to prepare for the interview, what resume, what LinkedIn to have, what project to tell about, how to answer questions, how to present yourself. That's what we do. And definitely, I can promise you that you will be able to get 70 to 100K. You will always have exceptions. Someone will get 65K and someone will get 110K. But we don't want to talk about exceptions. If you follow the instructions, you're definitely going to get 70 to 100K jobs, 35 to 50 per hour. Why is that? Why you see many things that the company is going to ask you for in job description? Because 80% of what you see in the job description doesn't really worth much. Why? Because probably 80% of the job is going to ask you for automation, Java, Python, Selenium, WebDriver, but they offer less than 100K, 80, 75, 90, 70, 100. Someone who knows automation, who knows coding, will not work for this salary. I promise you that. That's why most of those jobs will get back to you, to manual QA people. Probably like 65% of the jobs that ask for automation eventually will hire manual QA people. How we know that? Because our graduates are getting the jobs all the time. How we know that? Because the average salary of software QA engineer is less than 100K. Very simple. So don't trust what you see in the job description. All right. What is the future of this role? With AI and all the automation, won't bot be doing this kind of jobs in the next future. So guys, in the future, machine learning and AI gonna, rule the world, and we all gonna be just doing meditation, yoga, and cultivating and enjoying life. But until we got there to this era where the robots and the machine learning and AI is doing everything, we still have a couple decades to make a lot of money, because in IT we get the best salaries. Of course, in the future, maybe they will ask you to do QA for something else, maybe for, I don't know, a spaceship, or I don't know, virtual reality, augmented reality, blockchain, anything that's going to appear in the future. Someone needs to test it, someone needs to see how it looks. Not everything you can automate. Some things you need to feel, some things you need to see with your eyes. If in the future the robots and the AI going to be doing it, awesome. But until we got there, you definitely can work in the IT world and make a lot of money. Good question, Gustavo. Let's see. How can I speak with someone or mentor? Well, it's a good question. You can email advisors@carriers.com, and we will answer your questions, or support@carriers.com. I think that in your case, just write to advisors@carriers.com, and we would love to answer your questions. Okay? Tomorrow, what time it starts? Same time as today, same link, same time. Come tomorrow. I hope that you will be able to sign and pay the contract that works best for you until the lesson. Internship is only for 2 weeks. Will it be extended if you don't get a job? Yes, of course. You're actually going to have the internship until you get the job. You're going to be part of the internship for that period, but we recommend to actively be and come to the internship at least for 2 hours per day, at least for 2 weeks. You choose the hours, you choose the days. Just make sure that you do the internship, because it will help you a lot to be much more confident during the interviews. Okay? Cool. Okay, so Stacy, your question is very personal, and yes, of course, just email the guy, the person or the advisor, Tony, and he will take care of you, of course. All right. Would in ISA option, would your payment be automatically taken out from the payment paycheck? No, of course not. You will just send us the money after you are being paid. Okay, we don't want your money before. After you're being paid, you will send us the percentage out of your salary in case that you choose the income share agreement. Now, guys, I promise you that I'm going to answer the rest of the questions. Just now, we're going to have the class, the lesson with the teacher, and I don't want to interrupt that. And of course, I'm going to answer the rest of your questions. When I get a job who pays less than 70K, do we have to pay 15%? Yes. We, in the contract, basically it says that if you're going to get less than 50K or 25 per hour, basically, you don't need to pay us if it's less than 25 per hour, which is usually around 50K, but don't think about the per year, think about the 25 per hour. If it's less, you don't need to pay us. If you get less than 70K, for example, 65K or 60K, yes, you need to pay us, but it doesn't mean that you need to do this 60K job, because if you're going to follow the instructions, you will not need to do that. We're going to teach you how to get 70 to 100K. Okay, Lucia. Okay, Luisa, I'm sorry. So guys, actually now I want to introduce you our teacher, Yuri. How are you? Can you hear us?
How you doing, guys?
All right, we are doing great. Yuri,
confirm that
the class is all yours.
Awesome. So I assume that you can guys hear me and see me well. So let me introduce myself. My name is Yuri Sokolov, and I'm one of the course creators I'm one of the teachers that basically will walk you through this career of becoming a quality assurance engineer. And let me start with a few things. So first of all, guys, myself, along with all of our teachers, all of our mentors, and all of our instructors, we did not have any prior IT experience. So we didn't have any computer science degrees. We didn't have any computer science experience. We all started from different careers. We started from different fields and industries. But that's the beauty of joining the quality assurance engineering, because it does not require you to know anything about the IT. Me personally, so I graduated with a degree in art. One of our other teachers graduated with a degree in finances. Another teacher graduated with a degree in visual communications or design. And now all of us, we spent many, many years working in the field of quality assurance engineering. So let me start to introduce myself. So I've been working as a quality assurance engineer for many, many companies in Silicon Valley, mostly for the past 8+ years. So I worked for startups, I worked for big companies, I worked for Google as a QA lead, I worked as a manual QA engineer, I worked as a automation QA engineer, I worked as I tested everything, software, hardware, mobile, web, everything. So when we decided to create this course, we thought about the whole thing we went through, like Max and I and all of our teachers, which, by the way, collectively, all of our instructors, we have more than like probably 70 years of experience working in the quality assurance engineering field combined together. So we basically got together and we thought about things like, okay, guys, so let's create a course that's going to be simple enough for everyone to join. We will leave, so we will include only the things that are necessary to pass the interview and to prepare to get a job, rather than something that is unnecessary, or maybe there's something that you will never use in your life. So we created this course, we created the summary and the syllabus and everything, and we've been doing this for more than 2 years now. And the first thing that all of my students ask me is how hard it is to get into like the biggest companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, IBM. It's not hard. All you have to do is you have to follow the instructions, you have to know the basics, and you need to be able to pass the interview. Regardless of how many years of experience you have and how big is your resume, if you have like 4 or 5 pages of your resume, it doesn't mean anything if you can't pass the interview. So this course boils down to the point of us teaching you the essentials of becoming a QA engineer, how to transfer from whatever the field you're doing right now, whatever the career you have, into the IT, and how to become a quality assurance engineer. Another question that I've been asked a lot is, well, I've heard that automation and coding and scripting is basically taking the manual QA jobs. That's what we're trying to teach here, the manual QA job. It's the easiest way, the quickest way to get into the IT. And guys, when I started this thing, when I joined the QA field, when I joined the IT, it was like 8 or 9 years ago. They have been telling the same thing. They've been telling like, okay, stop learning the manual QA, go into the automation, go into the coding. And everyone was like on the same level. The whole thing was like, yeah, the automation is coming, they're gonna take our jobs, the computers and robots and machine learning and all that stuff. Didn't happen. It's been 8 years since then, and we see more and more positions in manual QA opening up, and I'll explain why. So let me basically start the presentation. I'll introduce you to the world with of quality assurance engineering. I will try to explain what we do at work, and I will try to explain what you have to learn in order to become a quality assurance engineer. So let me share the screen. Give me guys a second, and I see your messages, guys. I will answer as soon as I see them. So let me start the presentation. All right. So hope you guys can.
Yes, we can.
There you go. Max, can you continue admitting people to the room?
Of course. Yeah, you can even do the full screen. Awesome.
There we go. All right. So let's talk, guys. Okay, so let's talk about what is the quality assurance. What does it mean? Like quality assurance. It's a huge term. It's like we need to understand what does it mean. So first, I'll read the description and then I'll explain what it means. So software quality assurance is the process of monitoring software engineering procedures and methods to ensure quality. But let's start with any other process. So let's talk about the manufacturing of, I don't know, the chairs. Let's go to any manufacturing or any production of any material or any other, physical product that you know. The software, I'm sorry, the quality assurance means that we will ensure that whatever the product we develop, it's gonna be developed with the best quality and it's gonna satisfy the customers. So how do we build quality on? How do we measure quality on? We measure it based on the requirements or specifications. Let's take it, to make it simple, let's make it a chair. So we all know what the chair is. We all know what we expect from a chair, from the quality point of view. So the quality assurance of a chair would be to ensure that whatever the specifications, whatever the requirements that were basically declared during the production is being enforced and delivered as an outcome. Same thing happens in software. I know that most of you probably never worked with, you never worked with IT. You're not maybe, you're far from software development industries and so on. But let me assure you that the quality assurance works pretty much the same way in any industry that you see in front of you. So let's move back into the software, right? So whatever the software you see in front of you, either it's a mobile application, either it's a website, you go and use, use the browser to access. It's been produced the same way the furniture does. It's been produced the same way the chairs or the forks or the plastic utensils are. There's a process. There's a development process, and there's the same way we ensure that the quality of this process satisfies our customers. So the software produced by the coders. So we have people that are basically know how to code. And let's say if you want to add like new functionality to your software, like to your website, if you ever use the website, let's say you want to add a new web page, or if it's a mobile app, you want to add a new screen or a new button or new functionality. There has to be a person who will write the code behind it. And usually the people who write the code, they're very expensive. They have computer science degrees. They have a certain level of expertise. They know tools and stuff. In the United States, those people, make a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But someone needs to check their work. So someone needs to step up and say, whatever the developers will develop, I want to check. The department want to check their work. And that's how the quality assurance department basically fits into the whole picture. So developers, their only role is to develop the code. Their only role is to write the bunch of different codes and stuff, right? But they are too expensive to check it, because testing the code or testing the software or testing the website, testing the application, it takes time. And sometimes it takes more time that you would spend towards the coding itself. And the companies thought like, okay, we'll have like a QA department, right? We'll have a department of people that will be getting somewhere between $70,000 and $100,000, way less than what developers make, because developers make much more than that. And those guys, like quality assurance engineers, they will test all the code that developers deliver. And if something is not right, QA engineers will report back to developers and say, hey guys, this thing doesn't work the way we would anticipate it, or the way we thought it will work. So you have to do something with it. You have to fix it. And that's how the process works. That's why the software QA engineers are paid a good amount of money, is because we're like the second tier after the software developers that basically will check their work. Because some people don't understand how QA engineers, they do such a basic job and they get paid so well. Well, it's because we're checking the most important work in the company that was done by the developers, which are expensive. And the QA engineer's job is to make sure that whatever the developers did satisfies our customers' requirements. So we basically know what our customers need, and we compare whatever the developers deliver to us to test. We compare with the requirements, and we say, okay, that satisfies our criteria, and that the software may go to our end users. Now, another thing, guys. So software quality assurance engineers and analysts overview and participate in the entire software development process, which includes the requirement definition, software design, coding, source code control, code reviews, software configuration management, testing. By the way, the funny thing is this paragraph is not true. This paragraph is actually incorrect, because quality assurance engineers do not participate in most of those things. They only participate in things that are happening after developers deliver all those things. So guys, development process, QA engineers do not participate in. Requirement definition, not really. We don't participate in that as well. Software design, we don't participate in this as well. Coding, no. QA engineers do not participate in coding. Source code control, absolutely not. Code reviews, we don't participate there as well. Software configuration management, nope. Testing, that's where the software quality assurance engineers come in. And that's what's the most important part of our work is. Like, we test all those things. So we make sure that whatever developers code, we play with it as a users from the user point of view, and we say, okay, seems fine. I don't see any issues. So it should go, it should be good to go. Release management and product integration, maybe somewhat. But the most important part of all this is testing. Another thing that I want to pinpoint is, guys, this paragraph right here. It's not possible to create a software without having bugs. So you probably saw a lot of issues when you used whatever the software you downloaded, whatever the website you went. You always encounter issues and problems and things. Let's say you click the button, it doesn't work. Let's say you I don't know, try to upload an image and it doesn't upload. Try to do something and it doesn't work. So basically, there's always going to be issues. So it's normal and acceptable that whatever the company releases the software, it's normal that the software will have bugs. The job of quality assurance engineers is to make sure that none of those bugs that are, go to the end users are critical enough to affect our business. Okay. All right. So what is the software testing? So software testing identifies the correctness, completeness, and the quality of software. A software testing investigation gives stakeholders important information about the quality of piece of software or a service under test. So the software testing provides an objective and independent view of the software, which allows the business to appreciate and understand the risks of implementing the new or changed software. Sounds complicated. In reality, it's absolutely not complicated. In fact, what we have to verify that whatever the piece of the software they give us, and by them, I mean the developers or product managers, so whoever is going to deliver us the product, the software that we will test, and our job is to make sure that nothing weird is happening. So nothing, we don't see anything weird. Everything works, feels, and looks good. That's all what you need. Okay. Now, guys, so let's talk about difference between QA and testing. In reality, you don't even need to understand this concept at all right now, but just to give you some understanding, the testing it's when we verify that the software basically works the way it's supposed to. So we have a set of requirements, right? So to give you an example, like if we click this button, like when you go to the Amazon and you click, you find the product, right? And you click on the add to cart button, right? So you click on the add to cart button, you know exactly what it will supposed to do. It will add this product to your button. That's testing. Software quality assurance, it's preventative. So it analyzes the whole process of software development, starting with the requirements. So quality assurance, it's like an umbrella term. It's a bigger concept that basically says that we need to analyze the requirements first. We need to work with other teams. We might even start thinking about testing or quality assurance before the software is actually implemented or before there's a prototype. Yeah. So software quality assurance, it's like a bigger industry, it's a bigger concept that basically says like we will do whatever we need to ensure the quality of this product and the future releases. Testing is just a pure procedure, pure action or function to test, the what is required to what we have. All right. So we will be covering the subject of manual testing. So this course is mainly developed for manual QA engineers. So manual testing, it's software testing is the process of finding the defects or bugs in application. In manual testing, the testers act as an end users to verify that all the features of the application are working correctly. So any differences between the actual and desired results are treated as defects or bugs. By the way, defects, same thing as bugs. So defects are equal to bugs. A bug report is created by the tester and sent to the developer, who then will fix them. The tester then retests the software to ensure that the defects have been fixed. The goal is to ensure that the application has no major defects and as few minor bugs as possible. The software should be working to a sufficiently high standard so that it is acceptable to the customers. So whatever the software any company decides to develop, the QA engineer is there to say that, okay, we think it's good enough to be sent to our users, or maybe something is weird and something is not working. Obviously, you'll have a bunch of requirements and bunch of specifications and something you can rely on to determine if the software is good or it's like in a bad state. Okay. So why manual testing is important, guys? And let me tell you from the perspective of someone who worked as a manual QA engineer and also working as an automation QA engineer who automates the software testing. Manual testing is the most important type of software quality assurance procedures or processes at all. There's very few companies that completely substituted the manual QA with like automation. I'll tell you why. So why manual QA is important is because the human intervention needs to be ongoing. So every time there's new behavior comes out or new part of the software comes out, humans us are the best subjects to do the first round of checks. We only need very little amount of time to determine if something is right or something is wrong. In order to allow machine or allow automated tasks to determine the same thing, it will require many dozens of hours of work, and then certain criteria, and then the criteria may not match what the human intervention may find. So there's human intervention is almost the perfect way to determine if something goes wrong. Same thing when there's a need for human judgment. Machines don't have judgment. Machines have checks. It's either passes or fails. It satisfies the requirements or it doesn't satisfy. So if it works or not. Humans, they will think on the scale. We think on grade. So we always have more to add to a certain picture. So automated testing is too expensive or time consuming. That's absolutely true. For the same test that manual QA engineers require to spend maybe 30 seconds, in order for me to automate this test, it will require probably a couple of hours. And then you have to adjust those tests. You have to basically maintain them. So it will take more and more time. So the same thing that the human could have done in 20 seconds, for me, in order to automate it and basically implement, it will take probably a day or maybe 2 days. So manual testing, requirement analysis. The first thing we do, we basically the company creates requirements. It's like, what do we expect from this software? And then let's say it's a new button. Let's make it simple. So they want to create a new button, add a new button, right? So you work for the company, they have a website, maybe it's an e-commerce website, maybe it's something else, doesn't matter. They decided to add a new button. The button will basically, I don't know, take you to the page of with all the all the reviews or something. So the company gathers the analysis, the requirements. They say, okay, we need this button because our users want to get like a simple way to navigate to the page where all our reviews are. And then they would pass it as in the form of requirement, in the form of documentation to other departments, development department, QA department, and other departments. And we can say, okay, so we have like technically we have already a description of a feature, description of a button. We may even have a the screenshots of how this button will look like or how the screen will look like. We can start creating test cases. In this case, it's a basic set of instructions on how to test certain things. Basically, to click on the button, expect something. When the button is ready, when the functionality is ready, we can start clicking on the button under different circumstances and see if it works all right. Right. So basically, we all that we do is we verify whatever the developers give us works to an extent that our users will be happy when we basically release this product to our users. Does it make sense, guys? I don't really want to stop on this slide because it doesn't make much sense. We shouldn't compare automated testing and manual testing to begin with. But if some of you are still worried that automated testing or like computers or robots or someone will take your job as a manual QA, I already gave you an example. That was the same concern 8 years ago when I just joined this profession, when I just joined this career. Same dialogue, same concerns, nothing changed. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, we're getting more and more positions in the manual QA because automated testing is basically, it's been proven. I wouldn't say useless. Useless is a bad word. It's still a useful concept in some ways, but it's been proven expensive. That's what we need to talk about. It's been proven to be expensive and complicated from the point of the maintenance, because the automated testing should be performed by the people who know at least some sort of a code. They may even need to have like computer science degrees. They may know how to troubleshoot. So it may not be performed by people like you and I, like people without any experience in IT, because that's how we get into the job. That's why the manual QA testing will still be important, will be popular, and I think this career is going to be out there for the next at least 10 years or maybe 15 years or so. So guys, don't be afraid. If you are thinking about joining the IT world, this is one of those examples how you can do it quickly, painless, and under the guidance of someone like Max and I, because we've been here for, in this industry, I mean, we've been here for 8 or 9 years, and we know every in and out, and we basically created this program combining all of our experiences into something that actually works, and has been proven that it works. Just look at our graduate stories, look at our reviews. So again, manual testing and automated testing. You will get this presentation. You can read about it, and you can go through it. It's nothing unusual. The manual testing is so the biggest issues between manual and automated testing. So automated testing is really expensive. It takes a lot of time to implement. The manual testing is quick, takes not a lot of time to implement, but the manual testing basically relies on the physical labor of people and the humans, and the humans tend to make a mistake. Like automated testing, unlikely to make a mistake, even though it happens, believe me. But manual QA engineers tend to make mistakes because they're people, because they're human. And that's the never-ending argument between automated and manual testing, which we should never care about to begin with. It doesn't matter. So you can go through those slides when you will get them after today's class. All right, guys, so let's talk about the basic concept, and we will continue tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll have a beautiful day. It's going to be the subject of our lesson, the subject of our class is going to be to dive deep into the concepts of quality assurance. So we'll basically explain all different types of testing that are out there, and we'll explain the differences, we'll explain what they mean, and so on. But today we'll basically try to explain like a very, very, very high-end, high-level concept. So the black box, that's what we'll teach you during this course. The black box testing is when the QA engineer or a tester examines the functionality of an application without having an access to the source code. As a user, so what we will do during this course, we'll teach you how to test software as a user. You don't have to know any code. You don't have to know any, databases or coding languages or tools or scripts, whatever. You have to know how to test the software while being a user. But there are other different concepts, like white box. In white box testing, the testers design additional tests based on the analysis of a source code. So there's a career path, which also you may take after you basically will finish the manual QA course. And the path is called the white box testers. The white box testers, they write their code based on the source code. So they know the coding, they know the structure, they know how to work with the code, and they also know how to test. And that's a career path that also you guys may take. It's called the white box testing. The gray box is, as you already probably figured by combining black box and white box, it's a combination between two. It's something between the white box and the black box testing. So the aim is to search for defects due to the incorrect software architecture or improper use of the application. So a good example I'll give you about the gray box testing is, for example, if you test the product from the user side. Yeah, so you go to the website, you try to log in or to create an account. That's your test. And when you create an account, you need to verify that it was successfully created. So the gray box side of it would be to check on the database level. So if some people would have like the some companies will give you access to the database structure, and then you can go and check the database, which is a simple query. It doesn't require you to know like complicated coding, but you will be able to check if the account you were trying to create is actually created from the database side. That's an example of a gray box testing. But guys, you don't have to learn all this in order to get a job, in order to start in the IT. What we will teach you in this course is a black box. So you will learn how to test the software as a user. No need to learn coding for now. No need to learn any other tools. We will give you, we will introduce you to certain tools and certain technologies that may be asked during the interview. They may help you during your work, but that's about it. Does not require any test, any coding, does not require any computer science degree. On top of giving you the experience of technological part, explaining you the technical part of all those things, we will explain you how experience may help you with your homework, help you with your ability to get jobs. We also will have lessons on verbal skills, and also will give you some hints on how to improve those. We will provide you with a set of tools. We'll teach you how to use certain set of tools that you may use for your resumes, because obviously when you try to join the tech company, they want you to have certain tools on your resume, and we will prepare you for that. Knowledge of platforms and devices. We'll have classes for mobile QA and for web QA, when we will show you different testing techniques for Android application, iOS application, web-based application, or web mobile application. So all these platforms and devices and tools you'll be able to put in your resume. And finally, guys, we did our own research. We had 2,000 students, and we know how to help people to get their resumes and LinkedIn profiles to be noticed by recruiters, managers, and other important people. So that's why this course is important, not just from the the knowledge point of view, but also from the point of where we collected a lot of data and a lot of things that may help you to get a job, because we know how things work. And I think, to me personally, that's one of the most important aspects of this course, is that we are invested in you guys getting jobs. All right, guys, thank you very much. And let me pass the class back to the Max.
Thank you very much, Yuri. Thank you very much. And of course, guys, as I promised before, I gotta answer your questions. So let me just stop the presentation and let's see what we got. By the way, I promised to show you the syllabus. I promised to show you the syllabus, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So basically, we're going to make sure that you guys going to get everything you need. You're going to learn the tools that you need, the platforms, the devices, iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, Xcode, Android Studio, how to install applications, how to create log files, how to write bug reports in Jira, how to use TestRail to write test cases, how to use Chrome Dev Tools for testing. We're gonna show you and give you to practice those different topics, different platforms, different devices, web testing, mobile testing, ADB commands, Unix commands, basics of SQL, of API testing. By the way, probably 95% of you will never need API and SQL at work, but during the interviews, it might pop up during maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 interviews. So we want to make sure that we give you much more than you actually need in order to get the job as soon as possible. Many companies going to ask you questions that you will probably will need to know how to answer, but you will not need it at work. Probably because we are very, very transparent and very honest. Probably 80% of what you're going to learn, you will need only for the interview. After you get the job, most of it you will never need. That's just what happens in the industry. Okay, so you learn a lot of things that you need for the interview, but you will not need for the actual job. The actual job going to be much more simple. By the way, if you go to our website Careerist and you go to Insights, you can find success stories with more videos about our graduates and more stories about how they were able to get a job. So you are very welcome to watch those stories to better understand who we are and what we do. And we definitely know better than you what you need in order to get this job in QA. That's why we're going to teach you all the tools, all the platforms, all the devices, all the terminology, all the theory that you will need. Maybe most of this theory you will never need, but in order to become a better professional, in order to be able to answer better interview questions, we're definitely going to make sure that you will learn everything you need. And we know exactly what the companies are asking. We don't want to waste your time. We don't want to waste your effort. We just want you to get this job as soon as possible. Now, let me answer your questions. I saw many questions. Sorry for keeping you, without an answer. I will answer everything right now. So first of all, regarding the certificates, you don't need any certificates in QA. You might need a certificate if you do nail polishing or hair extensions, but in QA in the US, you don't need any certificates. If you live in the UK or maybe you live in Australia or in Belarus, you might need it. But if you live in the United States, you don't need any certificates for sure. Um, how did you get into QA? So, guys, it was just a luck. I found out that QA is considered one of the happiest jobs in US according to Forbes, and that's what brought me in, and that's how I started learning QA. And after a few months in the US, I got my 70K job, and at the end of the year, I was doing 100K, and now I teach you guys how to not waste time on 70K and get much more, because my first job was internship. It was like, I think, around $15 per hour for like 3 months. And now I teach you guys how not to spend time on internship with 15 per hour, where you can get much more, at least 35. And the average going to be 35 to 50. Of course, some going to get 65K, some going to get 105K, but the average going to be 70 to 100K, depends where you live. Can we see the videos? Yes, of course. We're gonna send you the video recording with the presentation of the lessons every time after the lesson, usually after a few hours. You will get it to your email. If you don't see it in your email, please double check your spam or promotions folders in your email. It's gonna be there, I promise you. If not, email advisors@careerist.com. Is the internship only 2 weeks? So guys, it needs to be minimum for 2 weeks, but it will be part of your resume, your LinkedIn, until you get the job. So you can be part of the internship. You can stay there until you get the job. And with every month of your job search, you will increase your experience, of course. And of course, you'll have enough experience to get 65 to 100K for sure. Can we work for a company in the US but live in other country? Theoretically, yes, but usually not, because companies that that hire for 70 to 100K, 35 to 50 per hour, they want you to be in the US. If you live outside of the US, for example, in East Europe, they can always hire someone there for like $500 per month or maybe $800 per month. So doesn't make sense. Okay, if you want to get 70 to 100K, you need to be authorized to work in the US and located in the US. Does any prior IT experience require? No, you don't need any IT experience, but if you do have it, it just helps. It's great. It's awesome. It means that the company is going to kidnap you in a good way before everyone else. So if for the rest, it's going to take 2 to 3 months. For you, it might take maybe 2 weeks. Okay. Is it good to mention other career experience in the resume or a fresh new resume after graduation? It really depends on the situation, and we definitely gonna work with you with the mentors to make sure that you have the right resume for your particular situation. So we do an interview for the internship as well. Well, not really. You just need to, graduate the program and watch the lessons. Okay. So I don't think you have an interview for internship. You don't. When we should expect to get a job if we use the job application services. So guys, the job usually you get after 1 to 3 months, because after 1 to 3 months you get between 4 to 10 interviews, and if you prepared well, you're definitely going to get one and more offers. Okay, cool. Is the internship with you guys or with a partner company that can lead into a job? So the internship, it's with a real company in Silicon Valley or LA or San Diego or San Francisco or Menlo Park, and you can attend it remotely. You don't need to go anywhere. You can do it from home, and you need to do it at least for 2 hours a day. If you want to do it more, you can do it more. If you want to choose the days and the hours, you choose the days and the hours. Okay. And it's a real company. We do have leads that we hire in order to communicate within the company and you, just to make sure that we help you even more. Because in normal internship, if you ask too many questions, they're just going to kick you out of there. We don't want it to happen. That's why we try to give you another, layer of support to make it more convenient to you. Of course, you need to be nice and friendly to be part of the internship. Cool, because it's like kind of a real job just for experience. Would internship could get a real job? So guys, you don't want to get a job during the internship, because as an intern, maybe they will offer you 25 per hour, maybe 20. Why would you work for those pennies? We're going to teach you how to get 35 to 50 per hour from other companies. Okay, because after you did the internship, you already considered, in many cases you can be considered as a mid-level QA, because you have a real on-hand experience and you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about. Cool. For internship, do I just need my laptop or iPad? I think that laptop going to be great. How long does the support for finding a job for the student last? Guys, we are with you until the victory. So we're going to be here for you. Just follow instructions and you will not need more than 3-4 months. But if you will need more, we are here for you as well. Since the jobs are remote, if you take a job that's in different state, time zone, would I be working on my home time or the company time zone? Wow, it just, blew my mind. So, for example, if you live in Miami and your time is 9 p.m. or I'm sorry, 9, okay, so 12 noon, okay? But on the West Coast in California, it's 9 a.m. So if they start at 9 a.m., you start in the noon, okay? So you work according to their time, preferably to come to work when your manager comes to work, okay? Of course, you pay the taxes for the state that you live in, and you can work anywhere. Recently, most of the IT jobs are remote. Most of the time I have to access the live classes using iPad. Will I have a problem with that? Well, I don't think that for the classes you will have a problem, but I think that for the internship, you might have a problem because, you want to use laptop to write, use Jira and many other things. I think that you want to practice with your laptop. If you don't have a laptop, computer is fine. If you don't have any computer or laptop, I think you should have a laptop. You don't need a MacBook, no need for that. Just any laptop would work. Is 2 weeks internship enough for resume? Well, you will have the internship active until you get the job. It's going to be a job that is in your resume that you're still working at until you get the job. So you will have more than 2 weeks. The job search is going to be for 2, 3 months, maybe four. So you will have definitely more than 2 weeks. Hi, Max. I'm 49 years old, no IT background. I'm in the healthcare industry. What is the percentage of me being hired from the eyes of young hiring managers? So, again, we just had last week 55 years old in New Jersey who got 90K after 1 month job search. To be super honest with you, he actually had an IT background, not in QA, something different. I don't think that it really helped during the interview, but he did have some IT background. I can tell you that if you confident and you follow instructions and you're, let's say, 49, but you feel like 45, you will definitely get a job. Okay. So maybe some companies will not hire you, and it's fine, but you will definitely get a job if you're following the instructions and if you are confident. If you ask me what is the perfect age for QA jobs, well, we are not ageist, so everyone is welcome. If you even 120 years old, you are welcome. But if you ask me for advice and you ask me what is the recommended age, I would usually say 20 to 50 years old. But again, we always have exceptions. We just had a guy 19 years old got 70K in Florida. We just had a guy who's 55 years old who got 90K in New Jersey. So you always have exceptions. I'm sure that if you're 60 years old and you have an Apple Watch and you are confident and you speak English, you will be able to get a job as well. Okay? Cool. Is there reading materials besides the virtual lessons? So we definitely going to provide you the, slide that we are showing during the lesson, but I don't think that you need to read much material. You just want to watch the videos one after another like a Netflix show. And at the end, everything will become clear, because in the end, we're going to focus on the things that you really need, and everything will become clear. I promise you that. Okay. So if you don't get something during the lessons and you feel it's complicated or sophisticated, remember that you will never need it at work. Okay. Because the job going to be very simple, very straightforward, and in many cases very primitive. So don't worry about the job, just worry about the interview and pass it. So just watch the lessons. No need to note anything, because everything you will need in case of like a written material, we will provide you at the end of the course to help you prepare for the interview. How can you assure people that it's a legit academy, that you are real, that you're not a scam, that you're not, I don't know, one day company? So guys, I'm going to share with you right now article about us from Yahoo Finance that tells about our career service and about our growth. You're welcome to read it to better understand who we are. You also can go to our Google page, reviews, Careerist, Job Easy, or you can go to our Facebook page, our course report, or whatever they have in the reviews, and you can read more about us and what our graduates are thinking about taking our course. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's see what else. I promise to answer all of your questions. Okay, so I paid up front. What is the fee for the job application service? The slide said 499. So exactly, that's what I said as well. So the job application services is 499 per month for those that paid up front. Those that signed the income share agreement, you just get it as part of the service. Okay. How long between initial job offer until they get 70 to 100K? Why don't know machine learning or Java? Who don't know? I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand what you wrote, but it looks like you're asking how long between the time that you get 70 to 100K. So after this 1 month program of the education and plus 2 weeks of the internship, You will start applying for jobs for 1 to 3 months, and you will get 70 to 100K. You know what? Let me just change it to 65 to 100K, because some will get 65, but most of you are going to get much more. 70 to 100K, most of you will get. Hi, Max. What's at stake for QA in terms of job with TDD? So I'm sorry, I don't know what's TDD, but you can rephrase the question because I'm not sure what you wrote. Okay, ABC? All right. How long after you sign up will you find a job? As I said before, 1 to 3 months of job search. Sometimes it takes 4 months, sometimes it takes 2 weeks. Can Canadians participate in this program? So Canadians, you are welcome. I don't know the market in Canada, but I believe it's very similar. The only difference is that instead of 70 to 100K, it's probably going to be 60 to 80K because the salaries in Canada are different. Cool. Can we pay the 15% using credit card? Um, I actually don't know. I think you should just email advisors at carriers.com with this question. I think you can, but I just not sure. So double check, please. When will I receive the course dashboard? So you will definitely get everything you need after lesson number 2 to your email. If you don't find it, go to spam and promotions or promotions folders. Is QA is a full-time job. So in 70% of the cases, it's a contract job where you work 8 hours per day, 5 days a week. And in 30% of the cases, it's a full-time job where you work same hours, 8 hours per day, 5 days per week. Just this time, you also get benefits like healthcare, like paid vacations, paid days off, sick days, and maybe sometimes even shares of the company, stocks. Really depends on the company. Uh, I recommend not to think about full time or a contract, just to focus on getting 70 to 100K, which is for full time, or 35 to 50 per hour, which is a contract. And once you get it, the next week you can start applying to other jobs asking for more and better conditions. You can ask for only full time, you can ask for only more than 90K, but that's you do once you get your 70 to 80 to 90 to 100K first. Okay, awesome. Is the 15% is before taxes? Yes, before taxes. All right. Will you get the certificate? Like I answered 3 times before, you don't need any certificates in QA in the United States. If you live in Belarus or UK or Australia, you might need it. In manual QA in US, you don't need any certificates. I can promise you that. I don't have any certificates in QA. Yuri doesn't have any certificates in QA. Most of our teachers, they don't have any certificates in QA, and they work in Google, Apple, Facebook, Intel. Why? Because you don't need certificates in QA. By the way, most of our teachers, they don't have any technical background before coming to QA. So we're like most of you guys. You don't need technical background to work in QA. By the way, I shared with you the links before, and just in case, I will share with you the links again because I want you to have everything in front of you. Let's see. All right, I will share it one more time. Here it is. Let's see. Some questions that I didn't answer. Does it matter if you have a gap in your resume? Yes, it matters, and we will teach you how to fix that. Every situation is different, and the mentor will work with you one-on-one after you graduate the program to make a nice resume and LinkedIn to you once we make sure that you sound good and you know what you're talking about. I cannot view the syllabus. Yes, you can. I shared with you the link right now. You can just open it and scroll down. You will be able to see the lessons and the hours and the topics. Okay? Cool. Will be syllabus emailed to me? Yes, of course. It's going to come in the email. Please double check spam and promotions a few hours after the lesson. Okay. Let's see. Wow, I think I answered most of the questions. Can we get hired by a company in other countries? Yes, of course, but it will be like 500 per month, 1,000 per month. Here in the US, you can get like $7,000 to $9,000, which is cool. Don't forget that you usually pay taxes as well, between, I don't know, 20 to 30% taxes, depends where you live. Okay, let's see. I'm just skipping the questions that repeat themselves. All right. What do we need in our system to get ready for the course? You need confidence and just following instructions. Out of those more than 200 people that got jobs, how many kept their jobs? Guys, I don't remember even one person who was fired. Actually, you know what? I actually remember one. We had one person who worked at Facebook, and after 3 weeks, he was fired because he brought up during a meeting with the management that I cannot sit and do nothing. Please give me something to do. So they fired him because it didn't look good for his manager that he's not managing him correctly. So they just fired him the next day. So in the future, remember, if you are being told to do nothing and just sit, you just do nothing and you sit until you're being told to do something else. Of course, it's a good practice to ask once a day, hey guys, please let me know if you need my help. But you don't need to come to the managers in a meeting and tell them, give me to do something. I cannot sit and do nothing. Because in QA, sometimes you need to know how to sit and do nothing. It happens. So I'm very, honest and transparent with you. So we tell you how things are in the real world. Gustavo, your question is very, very personal. Please email advisors@carries.com, okay? And let them know what you told me, okay? Is there any video game QA testing? Of course. I was actually almost got a job at a company called Roblox. It's a game. It's a video, it's a game for computer game. And they offered me like crazy. I think like 120K plus 60K benefits, around 180K. Okay, so yeah, you have QA testing. By the way, in most QA gaming testing companies, they pay you less, but you always have exceptions. All right, cool. Let's see. Let's see. Is it okay to add instructors on LinkedIn? Of course. What if I'm a US citizen? Can I live elsewhere and work remotely? Potentially, theoretically, you can, but some companies will see that you are connecting from other countries and they might not like it, especially if they have something confidential and they don't want to show it to other countries. So it really depends on the situation. Let's say that if you get a job and they love you and you work there for a long time and you tell them, hey, I want to continue working, but remotely from maybe other place, sometimes they're going to tell you, okay, no, not a problem, as long as you do your job. What happens if I miss a class? You can always rewatch the video recording. Do we have interview for internship? No, you don't. Are internships paid? No, you don't need to pay for the internship. The internship doesn't pay for you. It's part of the program. You practice what you learned, you get experience. You don't need to pay for it. How long is the training? 4 weeks and another 2 weeks, 4 weeks of the education part and 2 weeks of the internship at least. Of course, the internship will grow every week, every month that you are searching for the job. I took the free class and I feel like I don't understand anything. Some people in the chat at least have questions. How to prepare yourself for these classes? So, guys, the job of manual QA is the most simple, most straightforward job in the IT world. You don't need to prepare, you just want to come, listen very carefully, and to focus and listen to what we tell you, and of course to follow instructions. If you do that, you will get the job. You don't need to prepare questions, because if you're going to have questions, like most of your questions are going to be answered till the end of the course. If they are not, we're going to have graduate meetings every Saturday where we're going to answer your questions, and any your concerns, and share with you tips and tricks, and bring you career success stories of fellow graduates that gonna appear and tell you about how they did it. What if you have MacBook? Will you be able to access Jira? Of course. Any questions about automation program, you just need to email advisors@carriers.com and ask them about it. But I recommend you not to think about automation right now. Why? Because if you compare manual QA with automation, manual QA, it's like kindergarten, and automation, it's like university. So you want to finish the kindergarten first and get the 70 to 100K before you think about the advanced program and to get more. By the way, probably like 65% of the interview for automation going to be asking questions about manual QA. Do you provide work support once we get into the job if you need help to survive at work? Yes, I love to promise that. You know why? Because for the past 2 years, only maybe 3 or 4 people called me and asked for help. Usually it was something super simple like, hey, Max, where are my test cases? And I'm like, did you see a bunch of instructions to do something with steps? And they're like, yes. I said, okay, that's the test cases. Usually that's the level of the questions that we get, but you always have exception, one out of, I don't know, 100 that's going to get something complicated and will ask for help. And of course, we will do our best to give him the answer and support him. So yes, you can count on us, but for most of you, you will not even need that, because everything will be very straightforward, very simple. All right. How can I join the next class? So just, if you already paid and signed, you will get the emails with the instructions. Just come tomorrow, next same time, same link. What are the names for the internship companies? It's a good question. We have different companies. I will give you just example of a company we worked before. It's called, until recently, it's called Verifi.com. And you can just, see example of a company that we have internship with. Um, Can you apply for grant for the cost of the schooling? Well, I don't know. You can double check with the grant. We would love to, have you. If somebody gonna pay for you, that's great. Do we need any notes or supplies like textbooks? I don't think so. I think that you just want to listen carefully to the lesson and you're gonna be perfect. If something sounds complicated, forget about it, because at the end we will explain you exactly what you need. Suppose you get hired from a company elsewhere from where you're living now. Would they provide you with housing services, or are you on your own? So guys, I don't think that anyone going to give you housing services, but in some rare cases, they're actually going to pay you for relocation. It could be 5,000, it could be more, usually like between $3,000 to $7,000. But in most cases, you just, if they tell you you need to relocate, you just decide if you want to relocate or not. If the company tells you you need to relocate in 1 year, you tell them, yeah, of course. And after 1 year, if you don't want to relocate, you always can tell them, well, I found this boyfriend or girlfriend and I don't want to relocate anywhere now. Okay, so if you want, I can continue work remotely. If you don't, no worries, I will get myself a job closer to me. All right. Well, will QA hire, basically asking for a friend, will they hire a former felon? So I think if the felony is DUI, yes. If the felony is smoking marijuana, yes. But if it's like something like I don't know, a terrorist attack or a kidnapping or stuff like that, I don't think so. Okay, so it really depends what was the felony. But if it's like something very, you know, very small, it's gonna be probably fine. If it's something very complicated, probably not. Okay, keep that in mind. Cool. Um, will the course include QA automation? So guys, I already explained you that we are talking about manual QA course. If you want to join the automation after you search for a job for free for a month, you can. And we have a course for automation, of course. But to join it, you need to search for the job for around 3 to 4 months after manual QA. And if you have income share agreement, you can join the automation course by just adding another 3 months to your contract. Okay, or to pay the upfront that we discussed before. Just in case that you still missed it for some reason, I will share with you one more time. I will share with you one more time the hours. I'm sorry, the rates. Boom. Let me just see it. Okay, here it is. I will share my screen with you. Okay, so you have the upfront 3,799, which is that's it. You don't pay anything else. Or if you cannot pay upfront, you can pay 799 registration fee, after which you don't need to pay anything else until you get the job. And once you get the job in IT, you pay 15% out of your salary for the first 24 months, of course, as long as you work. Okay, cool. Do you have to attend the Eastern Time Zone classes, or you can watch the video later? As I said before, you can watch the videos anytime it works best for you. How often do layoffs happen in the manual QA? Really depends, from company to industry to period of time. But I don't remember much layoffs for our graduates. Maybe, I don't know, I remember because of COVID, I think like maybe 3 or 4 people were laid off, but that's pretty much what I remember. Okay. Christopher, I didn't understand your question. The question was, am I in? Yes, you're in. Okay, so just focus. All right. What percentage of possibility landing a full remote job? So right now, I think it's like 75% of the jobs are remote. Will I have a problem if I just watch recordings? I don't think so. I think that if you just listen carefully, you will not have any problems. Yes, you are recommended to do the homework. It's more for you than for us to better remember what you learned. Yeah, you're definitely going to have homework. It will not be crazy. You don't need to do it more than like 10, 15 minutes, but you will have it from time to time to practice what you learned. Does manual QA have part-time positions? Well, sometimes it is, but we don't teach you how to get part-time positions because we teach you how to make 70 to 100K, 35, 50 per hour. Why would you want to get less? Okay, so the question is, regarding the certificate, I understand that we don't need certificate, but would we have a certificate for completion of the course? I see. I see what you mean. So if you will need a certificate, basically email that will confirm that you learned with us with careers.com, software QA testing, we would love to give you that. Okay. Do we want to print it? No, it's going to be a waste of paper and you will never need it because no company going to ask you about it. If they're going to ask you about it, you can answer them, but they will not ask you to provide it in 99.99% of the cases. I promise you that. Okay? Can we get the copy of the contract that we signed? Of course. Just go to the link that I shared with you guys, and you will be able to choose the contract. Boom! You see the registration plus contract. You just choose the one, and it will be sent to your email. Okay. Cool. If so for some reason you don't find it, you always can email advisors@carriers.com. I have a friend in New Zealand who wants to join. Can he continue living in New Zealand and work for US companies? Well, tell you the truth, I don't really want to waste your friend's time and effort. We teach people how to get jobs in US for those that work in US and authorized to work in US. Other states, I'm sorry, other countries, it will be a problem for them. So I don't want to waste your friend's time and effort. All right. Robert, the question, can you see me? Yes, I can see you, Robert. If you have a question, please write it down. All right. Thank you, Khalil. You're welcome. When is your next enrollment date? So, guys, we have courses every month. Sooner you join, sooner you get your job. Any questions regarding the next courses, you just email advisors@carriers.com. Homework gonna be, I think, like pretty much almost every lesson, but it's gonna be something very simple, very straightforward, and it will not require more than 15 minutes. Luisa, if you have a personal question, just email advisors@carriers.com. What is this Verify.com link? It's an example of internship our graduates were working on. My felony was a drug charge back in 2006. That okay to get hired? Well, I definitely know some people that had, minor issues like that with like, marijuana and stuff like that. And I know that they got jobs and they're doing fine. All right. Do you think that my experience would count as experience working on a website? Well, my role was customer support. Well, I don't think it's really important, tell you the truth, but we can think. I think that showing X experience, previous experience of customer support, it's okay because from customer support you can become QA tester, QA engineer. It sounds okay, but if you are, for example, a president of a country, or you're a judge, or a professor in the university, or PhD in nuclear science, and you go and become QA tester, it will not look good. That's why you probably don't want to show your previous experience, which is not relevant to QA and it's overqualified in your resume. As well, if you have in resume a year of graduation, which is more than 10 years ago, or even sometimes 5 years ago, you want to hide it. Okay? Just to not let everyone know your age and not allow others to discriminate you. All right, cool. The time of the lesson is going to be exactly the time that we showed you before. And just in case, here it is, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time and 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Cool. Are the ISA payments per month or paycheck? Well, I think you should discuss it with advisors at carriers.com, but it's pay per the time that you are being paid. So, for example, it could be every 2 weeks. If you get your pay stubs, you just pay whenever you get the salary. Grading of score includes class participation. I just watch recording. Will that affect my students' score? I'm sure that it will not. If you watch recordings and you do the assignments, you will be just fine. How do you grade the homework so we know how we are doing? So that's something that the teacher is going to answer you, because different teachers are going to grade it and treat it in a different way. Most of the homework is for you just to practice what you just learned. Okay, cool. What can be the begging age for software QA testing? Again, guys, from 19 to 55, I don't see any problem. If you're older and you feel like you're younger, you're going to be fine too. Of course, you need to be a good user of your mobile, of your devices, of your laptop. Yes, definitely. Not a professional, just a user. You need to know how to use Google and YouTube and your browser and your phone and your Android and your iOS. If you don't know how to, you can always go to YouTube and watch tutorial for beginners. Can you please tell me more about the one-on-one mentorship? Yes. So after you graduate the program, you will have a mentor that will work with you to make sure that you sound good answering interview questions. Once you sound good, the mentor will work with you on your resume, your LinkedIn, and the instructions about the job search. Max, will there be some sort of graduation or celebration at the end? Yes, of course. We're going to party on the last lesson for the last few minutes. Cool. I missed the first 20 minutes. Did I miss anything? Yes, you missed a lot, and you should watch the video recording where we're going to answer many interesting questions and discuss different important topics. Cool. What if you don't use a social media? I don't see any thing related to that. Umar, I see you have a question. Please write it down, and I would love to answer it. Guys, thank you so much for being with us. And I hope to see all of you tomorrow, same time, same link. I'm going to share with you one more time the links that I shared before. And boom, here it is. The first link is registration with the contract. You just choose the option that works best for you, put your email, you get the contract or the upfront payment to your email. Please leave your feedback. I also sent you a link where you can give a feedback for our today's lesson. We always try to become better and better, and we really appreciate your feedback. In case you're going to have any questions that we didn't answer today we didn't have maybe enough time to answer your question, or maybe you forgot to ask it, you can email advisors@carriers.com. And just in case that you want to see the syllabus, the curriculum, you can go to this link and you will see what topics we're going to cover. I promise you that we're going to cover whatever you need, and we're not going to cover what you not need. Okay? Keep that in mind. Thank you very much for being with us. I hope to see everyone tomorrow. I'm going to keep the chat open for a while so you can copy and open the links that I shared. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow, same time, same link. And I hope that everyone will be able to already join, sign the contract, pay the upfront, and to join our program. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye.